I'm John Pynaker with the Mojave Valley Daily News, and this is Valley Voices. Today brought to you by TriState AC Hero. They would like to thank their customers for naming them Best Heating and Air Conditioning Company in the Mojave Valley Daily News Best Of for the third year in a row. All right, very excited. I've got candidates in that are running for the CRUHSD School Board. Just as an overview, there is actually 2 spots that are going to be available. I know that there's some talk in the community about 3 spots being available. One of them won't be addressed until after the election because the resignation came in too late in the timeline of everything. So Carrie Burgess, the president, will be leaving for sure, and there's already one open spot on the board as well. So what you have is Carrie Faring, who had her signatures in and everything, will actually be on the ballot. And then there's an option for 2 write-in candidates. These candidates need to get 193 votes to qualify. So even if you have the most, but you only have 100 votes, it's important that we get them up over 193. So I'm going to be interviewing all 3 candidates, write-in candidates, starting with Artie Locksman. Okay. Welcome, Artie. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, let's talk. I mean, I think most people in the community know quite a bit about you. You're very involved in different organizations and that, but let's talk a little bit about your history.
It's interesting, John, because you say everyone knows a lot about me, and that's that's gratifying. But I try to actually be a facilitator and stay behind the scenes. It's hard to do from time to time. I've always been involved in the community. There's an old JC logo called Service to Humanity is the Best Work of Life, and I've followed that for 48 years. And been involved I'm from Kansas. I'm from Emporia, Kansas, which is the home of Emporia State University, which is the home of teacher education, the National Teacher Hall of Fame. Wow. Been to several of the induction ceremonies back when I was in Kansas, very prestigious. But I served on chamber boards there. I managed the county fair for 10 years as a volunteer. I took 2 weeks of vacation, the 2 weeks vacation time I had just to work the fair, and then I was really needing a vacation when I went back to work. But when I came out here in February of 2009, working out of a co-op in Kansas. I am the chief financial officer for Mojave Electric Cooperative, and again, I try to stay behind the scenes. I think we've got a tremendous leader there. But I came out here to kind of scope the community out, and I really got a favorable impression when I was out here. And it wasn't too long afterwards that someone invited me to Rotary, and of course I'd been in Rotary in Kansas, but I also got the opportunity to sit on the Western Area Regional Medical Center Board of Trustees, and a couple of years ago ended up being the president and chairman of the board. So, it's a tremendous experience. It's a very important job. Any board endeavors that I take very seriously. I don't sit on boards just for the sake of sitting on boards. I work on stuff in the evenings, on the weekends, just finishing a couple of projects on the Mojave County Airport Authority. Our quarterly meeting was yesterday, and we hadn't met for quite a while because of the pandemic. But been working on getting some various things done there, so I'm involved in that. And then about a year ago, I was asked to fill a seat on the Fort Mojave Mesa Fire District Board, and then they elevated me to clerk of the board last year. So those are kind of some of the things. I was on the Mojave Community College Foundation. The foundation board is made up of all leaders from all 4 campuses, and within that we elected officers, and I think I served as president as 3 or 4 years. So of the overall foundation. So sat on the committee that ended up selecting the current superintendent several years back. I thought that was a great idea, inviting the community to have an input in that, and the people that participated were very impressed with the opportunity.
Well, I can, as knowing you for quite some time now, I can vouch for everything you said about being very involved but kind of staying under the radar. I know that my time at the chamber, certainly you and Mojave Electric made it a lot easier and a lot more productive for me, so we appreciate that. Looking at where the board is at right now, do you have a priority once you hit the board that you would like to address?
I have a vision, John. I envision that we need to have a board that is active in the community. They need to be stewards in the community, not just attending meetings and really understanding the pulse of, not necessarily education. I'm not putting them down, don't get me wrong. But in order to be a good board member and serve, you need to be active, especially on something like school board or Warm C for that matter. You need to be active in the community. And you need to be seen, and you need to be approachable. And so what I envision and what my goals are to try to open some of those doors up to where the community has more of an opportunity to participate and have a say-so. There are a lot that are not interested in education. There are a lot that are. And unfortunately, the ones that are getting suppressed to a certain extent because the general feeling is oh, well, the school board's just, on its own. Well, we don't need to be on our own. We need to be interactive.
Right, and that's one of the things that I appreciate is that I think that we get a lot of people that, and not just the school board, although it happens there as well, that think that they're there for themselves. Really, you're representing the people of the community.
Absolutely.
And so what better way to get their input than to be out there with them. All right, last question. Here's your campaign stump. Time for your campaign spiel. Why should we vote for Artie Locksman?
Artie Locksman has long been a believer in accountability, innovation and accountability, and integrity. And a lot of times, some of the stuff that I may bring to a table or bring to a discussion may not necessarily be popular amongst my peers. But I'm also a person that comes in with an open mind and able to reason. I am able to reason and find a common boundary in there or a common goal, because you have to come off as a team player, and I consider myself a team player. Again, I come from an organization, and thank you for the compliments for MEC, but we all work hard. There's a team of us that work hard. No one is above the other, and it just works that way, and that's the way. That's the kind of person I am. I'm not going to come in. I have no axes to grind. I have no agendas to fix, because right now I'm not on the other side of that dais up there, and so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we need this, this, and this. You have to get in there, and you have to kind of get involved very quickly, but you have to get in there and then set course, for your goals. So I envision a community that's involved. I envision students that are involved. And in my prepared statement, the MEC is a membership corporation. We're all, for those of us that take service from MEC, are member owners. And those students, to a certain extent, are also. And we have to be able to listen to them and the other people that buy into that, i.e. their parents or whoever support them. They're members too, and they want a school where they can go learn. They want a school where they can go and be safe, and they want a school that can go and they can go out and be successful and be prepared for college and secondary and moving on, and hopefully some of them become very productive members of this community. So that's my goals, that's my visions, and I just look forward to the opportunity if given it.
Great. Well, thank you, Artie, for coming in. We appreciate it.
Appreciate
November 3rd, we'll have the spelling of Artie's name on here, so you, if you're interested in voting for Artie, you can write it down. Valley Voices is brought to you by TriState AC Hero. TriState AC Hero has recently been named the best heating and air conditioning company by the readers of the Mojave Valley Daily News for the 3rd straight year. With 24/7 emergency service offered, the family-owned business is here to help. TriState AC Hero strives to make sure that customers are always given options when it comes to replacing or repairing a unit. They are not looking to make a fast dollar, but instead provide trustworthy service and build loyal customer relationships, whether it's a residential, commercial, or refrigeration job. Right now, you can get $500 off a new install. You also can get a $78 diagnostic fee, which will be waived if you choose to have the repairs done at the time of service during normal business hours. And remember, they always give a 10% discount to military, first responders, teachers, and senior citizens. So for repairs, new installations, or periodic preventative maintenance, call 928-444-4395 and give TriState AC Hero a try and see why they were named the best heating and air conditioning company for the 3rd straight year. And we're back. Our second candidate here is Patricia Chando. Patricia's been in the community for quite some time.
51 years.
51 years.
Yes.
That's quite some time. I've been here for quite some time, and I'm nowhere near 51 years in the community. So let's start out. Thank you for coming in.
John.
Let's start out by first going over, you're a write-in candidate for the CRUHSD School Board. Let's go over your history. I know it's extensive, but
Well,
and
yes.
no fair naming off all the people in this community that are in.
That I taught and was
Yes.
principal for. Well, my history in the community starts with, of course, being a teacher. Although I grew up in Mojave County, I graduated from Kingman High School. I have watched the Kingman Unified School District split into 3 school districts: the Havasu School District, the Colorado River High School District, and the Kingman School District. And I've watched all 3 of them break apart from the Union High School District that I attended. All the kids in Mojave County were bused to our school. And so I've witnessed that, so I have been here a long time. I went to elementary, junior high, and high school in Kingman. I went to Arizona State University and received my bachelor's degree in education in NAU, and I received my master's education. And I've taught in Bullhead City community for 28 years. And I was a principal out in Mojave Valley, and I helped with my teachers' help, my parents' help, and the students' help turn a school from underperforming to performing in a year.
Wow, nice. And then you retired.
Well,
How'd that go for you?
let me add just a few more things. I coached basketball, volleyball, softball, and soccer for 20 years in our community.
Wow.
And I have taught for Northern Arizona University for 15 years, classroom management, learning theories and methods, data analysis, and statistics. And I teach for the University of Phoenix as well, the student teaching classes for the teachers right before they graduate.
Oh, good. So teaching the teacher.
Teaching the teacher. And after I retired, I went back teaching the teacher because the district needed some help because our state score came back a little low, and they put me in a school to coach math teachers and reading teachers, and I did that for 3 more years after I retired. And then the Montessori school asked me if I would help them open up their school, and I became the directress there for 3 more years.
Wow.
And then I finally am retired now. We have some horses and a ranch, and I spend some time out there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think you understand the meaning of
Retire.
retire,
I know.
but you're supposed to stop doing those
Well,
things.
here I am back. I want to get involved in the community once again. I just can't stay away from education.
Perfect. So let's say that you get voted onto the board. What is your priority for the board? What is it? Is there something that you're looking at that you'd like to see changed or improved or looked at?
Well, I have a link that is online that basically tells my message, my platform, and how to get involved and help. And my major concerns, of course, are students first, because that's why we're here, for the kids.
Right.
And then secondly is communication, not just amongst the board members, but amongst the teachers, the parents, the students, the community, everybody involved. The communication is number 1. And financial responsibility is important as well, the budget.
Yeah, the budget. We got a fiduciary responsibility there as well. So, all right, my last question. See, this is painless, right?
Oh, yeah, this is a piece of cake.
My last question is, this is your chance for like your political stump. Why should we vote for Patricia Chando?
Patricia Parker, Tune Force Anchondo, is the candidate you want. Why? I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I've been in this community. I know the kids. I know the parents. I know what is needed. I'm very informed with school policy. I know the Arizona Revised Statute laws. I'm honest. I tell the truth. I seek answers. I do my research. I get prepared. Vote for me and you will see a change.
Next we have Ashley Garrich.
Hi.
Ashley, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to have Ashley's name on the bottom here as well, so you can see exactly how it's spelled for write-in. But I've known Ashley for a while. I'm very excited that you're running,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
so I hope you do well. Let's start off by, and we've done your business spotlight, so I know a little bit about your history, and it's pretty
Interesting.
it's interesting, yes, and some of the things that you're doing now. But let's talk about your history. How long you've been here, and
History. I've grown up here. I've been to several of the schools in the area as a child and then as a teenager. I have 4 children and a stepdaughter, so 5 in total. They all go to schools here in the area, and I graduated from ASU with a bachelor's in organizational leadership, and I'm currently working on my Juris Doctorate from Mitchell-Hamlin School of Law.
perfect. Also own like 19 businesses or something, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to go too much into the businesses because I have been in the spotlight, but I own, several businesses here in the area. I own a leak detection company, a plumbing company, a local pet store, some interesting things going on.
An amazing pet store. If you haven't been down to
Please
Aquatica
come
Fauna,
and
go
check
check
us
it out.
out.
In
Yeah.
Fort Mojave.
Yes, we
Yeah,
just
it's-
moved.
Yeah. Go get yourself some bearded dragons or some
Fish.
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 You
Yeah.
got a special on fish this week only. Okay. All right, let's. I mean, you're familiar what's going on with our high school district board. You've
Definitely.
been involved with it and have witnessed what's going on there.
A couple times, yes.
What is your? Let's say that you get elected to the board. What is going to be your priority once you get onto the board? What if is it something they're doing that you'd like to change? If it's something that
Yeah.
isn't been having been done that you want to improve on or put in?
All right, so I'm going to exclude the superintendent and the board from this assessment, but there are 6 fundamental elements that make up a school, right? And I've heard several other individuals say, well, we need to work on the students. We need to make sure that the students have a great education. But where does that start, right? So that starts with our taxpayers, right? Our taxpayers help with our budget. And that's the second element, which is the budget. Then we have our administration. But without our budget being able to pay for our administration, we don't have an administration.
Right.
Then we trickle down to our teachers. Without a good administration and our budget, we don't have good teachers, or we don't have teachers that we can facilitate long enough to be able to stay here,
Retain them.
them, and provide them the resources that they need, right? So then that goes into my 5th element, which is the curriculum. And our teachers create the curriculum for the most part, other than, state testing and things like that. But then we get to our curriculum, and our curriculum's very important, right? Because without our curriculum, our teachers, our admin, budget, and our taxpayers, what do we have for our students? So I look at it as a whole, right? We have a lot of people saying, oh, we need our students, or our teachers. However, the bigger picture is where we really need to start. We need to start with our administration. We need to start with our budget. We need to start with figuring out where there's discrepancies within the organization and be able to create a better environment for our teachers to create their curriculum and then to create a great environment for our students. So my goal is to start there. Start at the top and work your way back down, because ultimately it's a reverse triangle, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have our students, and our students are the most important, but everything kind of cuddles down from there. So I definitely want to work on our budget. I've seen plenty of things that I've been kind of questionable about. I want to work on our administration. I think that we need to figure out what's actually going on in our schools, right? And our superintendent's job is to make sure that administration is good, and then administration is supposed to make sure everything's great for our teachers, right? But we need to know what exactly is going on in that element, our administration element. And I find that very important because I was employed by Mojave High School at one point.
Really?
Yes, and it actually didn't turn out the greatest for me, and I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be very transparent. But after witnessing what I witnessed as far as the leadership and the organizational structure within that bureaucracy, I found it to be very interesting that our board doesn't know what's going on. I don't even know if they knew that I was employed, first. Second, we don't reprimand those things. We don't reprimand our leadership. And if we don't start at the source, how can we ever be able to teach our children and our students what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it, and teach them in the correct environment?
Good. Well, I'm glad that you said transparency, because that's one of the things
It's
that...
my major, yes. So, and that's where it starts, is our taxpayers and our budget, and that's, I believe, not transparent enough.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. All right, the last question is, why should we vote for you? Why should I take the time to write in Ashley Garrich over any of the other people?
So everything I just said, basically, I think that it's very important to make sure that we have new eyes, new sets of ideals. We have new sets of, an outsider's point of view. I now have 2 students at Mojave High School, and what I've witnessed thus far, it's been interesting. I don't agree with all of the ideology that's going on within the school, and I'm almost afraid for my children to be able to go and learn, because I don't believe that they're learning in a way that they're supposed to.
Could be, yeah.
And they could be, right? But our teachers have to be treated well, and then it goes up, right? And that's why I think everybody should vote for me, because I'm going to fight for everybody. Not only our teachers, not only our students, not only our constituents, not only our budget. I'm going to fight to make sure that everything in our organization is running smoothly, and I'm going to fight for our leadership to be and do what they're supposed to do.
I'd like to thank all of our candidates, Artie Locksman, Patricia Chando, and Ashley. Thank you to our sponsor, TriState AC Hero. Call them today at 928-444-4395
They're amazing.
and find out why they were voted Best Heating and Air Conditioning Company by the readers of the Mojave Valley Daily News for the 3rd year in a row. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.